Hello, Tech everyone. It's me again, Penny. So, I know it's been a while. It's been like maybe 2 months since I've done a video. I've just been so busy. This summer's been crazy. It's like rain, rain, rain. It's a shit show. I went home for 4th of July. That was really fun. It was fun. I got to hang out with family, hung out with my nephews and nieces. I almost died of alcohol poisoning. It was awesome. Oh yeah, it was my grandma's birthday too. Her birthday was on Independence Day, and so I got her a really cute barrette, and it looks beautiful on her beautiful hair. Love you, Anna. Nothing else has been going on. It's pretty boring, but I did watch this movie called Bloodlust. Sorry. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This movie was made in 1961. It starts off with there's these two couples on a boat. Like one couple's fishing and the other couple is like shooting bottles, and the girlfriend's like throwing these bottles in the air, and the boyfriend's shooting them. The couple that's fishing, so there's one guy, he kind of looks like Buddy Holly. Up in the top of the boat is their captain, and the captain is just like drunk as shit. He is wasted. Oh, forgot to tell you. So this is my cup. It is Hello Summer, and I ran out of wine. So last night, me and my friends, we went out to the beach, and it was finally hot. It's been raining all summer. Yesterday, we finally had a good day, so we went out to the beach. We had a lot of fun. We roasted hot dogs and stuff. And me and one of my friends went back and like drink all my wine. So now I don't have wine, so I'm having Crystal Light and a little bit of vodka. I was like, that should be fine, right? I had trivia tonight, and we got 3rd place. Yay! The captain is up there drunk as shit, and these two couples are down here. The other couple that's shooting the bottles, he's like, hey, to the girlfriend, hey, do you want to try it? I guess his name's Johnny and her name's Betty, and he's like, hey, do you want to take a shot? And she's like, of course I will. And then she's like, well, we're out of bottles. Like, yeah, they're out of bottles. And he's like, well, what we could do instead. And he like grabs her waist. She does this move, and she's like, where she kind of like gets him into this like hold, and he's like, out of all the women in the world, I had to get mixed up with someone whose dad is a judo master or whatever. And honestly, I'm actually an orange belt in judo. I mean, it's been a while. College, I probably got demoted back to white belt. But anyway, I've never seen that move. And she's like, well, my daddy always told me it's fun to wrestle with boys. And he's just like, So they do this really sexy hugging, like, cover your eyes, kids. The other guys, the fishing people, are not getting any, fish. Buddy Holly's looking out, and he sees this island. And the island that they show, the island is just like, bam! It's like right in front of them, right? It's just right there. And he's like, oh, that wasn't here, before. Where'd this come from? And the girl, she's just like, oh, let's go on that island. So the captain's passed out, and they all take off, on a dinghy to this island. They get to the island, I'm like, okay, what do we do now? Let's look for some treasure, some pirates treasure. And they run off into the beach, and they're all giddy and happy, and just like, oh yeah. And they come upon like a bunch of crap on the beach, and they're like, yeah, look at this. This is a pirate's treasure. Captain's like, stop, wait. He's like, come back, fools. And he's really concerned about something, but they're already gone. So while those guys went out to look at this treasure, this like striped shirt guy like runs over to their boat and takes it, like their little dinghy, and takes it. And so they're hanging out at this little thing, and like they find clams, and so they're like, let's have a clam bake. They're like, hey, you girls stay here, watch our clams. Me and like Buddy Holly are gonna go back there and get some banana leaves. But anyway, while I'm watching this, I'm like, that Johnny guy's voice sounds so familiar. Like, he looks so familiar. Who is this? Like, turns out it's fucking Mike Brady. Like, the dad from the Brady Bunch? It's him. Kinda young, This group of people, like youngsters, they're supposed to be young because they keep calling them, young people or whatever. They look like they're at least in their early 40s. They look fucking old, but Mike Brady, he's like this tall guy. He's got like his big shoulders, and he's got his little shirt like tucked into his pants, like one of those like in shape, out of shape, like guys from the olden days. The girls are like, hell no, you're not gonna leave us out here by ourselves. We're going with you guys. So they go out looking for that shit. And while they're out there, they're looking around, and Mike Brady looks out and he finds like a cigarette pack, and they're like, well, this island's already been found. And they keep walking. And Johnny, Mike Brady, falls into a pit. And he falls in there, and he's just like, he's he's like unconscious. And the other people are like, well, shit, we gotta get him out of here. Buddy Holly should go in there because, he can, and then Buddy Holly's like, no, the girl should go in there because she's light and I could be able to pull her up. So, Betty jumps in there. And the depth of this pit was enough to knock this guy unconscious. But this Betty bitch just fucking pops down there like it was no fucking thing. And she wraps him around with this rope or whatever. And then they're about to pull him up. And then it was just like, dun dun dun, these guys show up. A man in like this safari outfit with these goons with the striped shirt. Kind of like the guy that took the boat. The next shot is the guy with the safari outfit in a house, like a mansion, with his guests, who are these like youngsters. So they're in like a living room, and there's like a fire blazing, and the guy, he ends up being like this rich dude. And he's telling them that, I was a professor. I was a professor back in the day. I got enlisted into the army. I had to become a sniper. And he's like, this thing that I had to do was like a job, which kind of like turned into like a passion, which turned into a kind of a hobby. There's animals on the walls. They had like trophies all over these walls. And they're like, these are like a random assortment of animals. There's like lions and like whatever the fuck. And he's like, yeah, you know, when you're rich, you can have all kinds of different prey imported to you. Oh yeah, he's a hunter that collects trophies. So this guy comes in. He's acting all drunk, and hunter dude, he's just like, oh, guys, this is Dean. He's like, yeah, Dean was once a brilliant man, but you know, now he's just a drunk, and I wouldn't have him here, but he's a great chess player. Anyway, the guys are like, hey, we want to leave. We want to go back, you know, to our boat. And he's like, no, there's no way that you're going to get past all these wild animals in this jungle. You better stay here. And the girls are scared. And Buddy Holly's just like, hey, I want to know what's up. And it's so funny. They say, like, these people remind me of, like, the Archie comics. The ones that take place back in the day, like in, like, the, I don't even know, the 50s or something. The way they talk, he's just like, hey, you're here by yourself. How do you get your kicks? And the old guy's like, my kicks? Young kids are talking about, you know, they want to go back to the boat and stuff. But, like, I mean, Johnny's like, hey, you know, the guy's out there. We got to go back to him. And Buddy Holly's like, well, he can't go anywhere because I took this thing. Like, that's part of the boat. So he can't literally leave us.
I too, Reverend Mother.
And like his girl's like all creaming, like, oh my God, you're so brilliant. Some lady walks in. She looks like she's a fucking zombie. And he walks in with her. He's like, this is my wife, Sandra. I don't know. But yeah, she looks like totally like clueless and kind of like blasé. He's like holding her. She looks like a fucking hostage. He's like, oh, welcome to our home. I hope you can stay. Fucking goon comes and takes them to their rooms. And while they're gone, so the wife's down there, the Dean guy comes in. And they start talking. And the Dean guy is no longer drunk. You know, like how he was earlier. He's like normal. And they start like kissing and stuff. But anyway, they start talking, and I recognize this lady's voice and the way she looks. I was like, is that... Okay, that looks like Jenny. That looks like Jenny from North to Alaska. So North to Alaska is a movie with John Wayne that me and my family used to watch, like, on repeat.
Gotta go north, the rush is on. North to Alaska.
And there's like this tiny part in the beginning of the movie where like this guy is gonna get this French chick back to Alaska. Nome, Alaska. What? And then turns out she's a maid and she's married to the fucking butler. Anyway, her name is Jenny. And this actress is it? I never even really did like dug through it, but like it fucking has to be. It has to be. Yep, that's her. That's her. Jenny. Jenny, fuck. Sandra and Dean, they're talking about, they're trying to escape from this island, right? They're in love, they're having an affair, and they're trying to escape from Dr. Hunter guy. Before they get to talk some more, fucking the hunter dude walks in, and he's like, oh, yeah, hey guys, and he's like, you guys want to go out for a walk? And she's like, no, I'm tired. And Dean's like, no, I'm tired. And he's like, hey, Dean, you want to walk my wife to her room? What's that word? Cuckold? Before they leave, the hunter dude is like, it's okay. I've taken care of everything. Whatever that means. Anyway, they fuck off. The next scene is the two girls are in one of the rooms. Betty, she's like, it feels like a dream. Fucking Veronica, or the fuck her name is. She's just like,
You don't think we're dreaming, do you, Betty? No, this is no dream. I can't think of a better explanation either.
the door knocks and it's friends. So it's fucking Mike, Brady, and Buddy Holly. Anyway, they come in and they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. We're in this house with these fucking crackpot millionaires. Let's split up and see what's going on. Betty will go with Johnny, Mike Brady. Veronica, whoever the fuck, like, she'll go with Buddy Holly, and they will, snoop around, see what they can find. Johnny and Betty are like walking out to start investigating, and all of a sudden they are pulled aside with their mouths held shut, and then they look up and it's fucking Dean and the wife, Sandra. And they're like, hey, we need to talk to you guys. We can go back to your room and we can discuss this. So they go back to their room. Meanwhile, Buddy Holly and his girlfriend are snooping around, and they find it looks like a cave. There's like dirt on like each side. One of the goons come in. He's like wearing a striped shirt, and they run and hide, and they watch the goon go into this room. Buddy Holly and his girlfriend are hiding. He pulls open this curtain in this room, and then it's like a fucking giant fish tank with this girl in there like floating around. Veronica girl just like but the guy doesn't hear her. He like closes the curtain. Then he goes over to like this bin, pulls out a foot, and he pulls out like what looks like skin, and then he pulls out a head, and it looks like the fucking Michael Myers mask, like the what do you call it, William Shatner mask, and puts it on the table. In the meantime, the girl is just like freaking out, like trying not to scream, like and then it's so funny, he just like grabs the head and just starts stuffing it. Later on, inside their original room, Mike Brady and his girlfriend are in there, and so are, Sandra and Dean. And the plan was that Dean and Sandra, apparently Sandra's like this really great swimmer, and they're gonna go out there and try to get like a boat or some shit to get out of the island. And they said once they get out of the island, they're going to get help for these other people. The horse, so I mentioned that the guy Johnny is, Mike Brady. The horse is in this. The horse from the Brady Bunch show, and like it was a big part of the Brady Bunch sequel movie. Anyway, the horse is in this. They made this plan that they're going to swim out to this cove, and Sandra will be out there. She's going to swim, and the other guys will act as a diversion so that she can get out to this boat. They run off to do their thing, but right behind them is the hunter guy. Apparently it's been like 2 days, so the two couples are chilling. They're like, wow, what is going on? Why is it taking so long? And they're like, you know what? We need to find out. We need to find out what's going on. And so they leave the room. The answers to our questions lies behind this wall, this creepy ass wall. They go behind this wall, and a voice says, like, "Good evening. Glad to see you come in." He's like, "I've got something to show you guys." And of course, it's the hunter. And they're in, the cave that those other guys found. And he shows them, it looks like a dude. Here's another dude. It's a guy that's like going like this. And he's like, "This is Jacoby." And Jacoby strangled 7 women. What he would do, the reason there were so many exotic, animals and shit on this island was because he would get people who were on like death row or whatever, like really bad people, and hunt them and kill them and stuff them, I guess, and put them in his little museum. He's like, this is his little hobby, like his duty, because, he was a sniper. Became like this passion project for him. Became like a bloodlust. He's like, the next trophies that he shows these people are, of course, Dean and Sandra. And then one of the bitches just fucking screams. Anyway, the hunter was like, the boat captain that took these kids out to here, he paid them well. He paid them well for his services to bring those, like, those convicts to this island so that he can hunt them. But he didn't know, like, that he brought these people who had done nothing. He shows them his, like, he's got this crossbow. Tony is there. Tony's the guy that was the captain that took these people to this island. "I'm gonna have to shoot you." And then what's his name? Buddy Holly's like, "This can't be real. This is not real." And so the captain kind of like, or the hunter or whatever.
Madness? What I've planned is a pleasant evening's diversion.
See, I know he was only kidding. Well, that's just a toy. Well, I couldn't kill anyone.
Tony, the captain that took them there, is sitting on this couch, or this lazy boy, and the hunter like aims his little crossbow thingy at him. Like, shoots at that fucking Brady Bunch horse. He shoots the Brady Bunch horse and it goes
in the arms of the angel.
But he's like, "Oh, well, I guess that's real." Johnny's like, "I mean, you're gonna take us out here and you're gonna shoot us, and what are you gonna do with our girls?" And the hunter's like, "Well, you know what? I just killed off my last female, which was Sandra. And so these girls will be, so he looks forward to getting to know them better." So he's got his bitches in a row. They're like, "Hey, that's not fair, I mean, what kind of defense do we have?" So he throws the Tony guy. Tony is the guy that, the captain that took them to this island. So the guy has this gun, but there's no ammunition. So the stipulation was the hunter gets 3 bows in his crossbow to go after all these 3 guys. Johnny's like, "Yeah, you get 3 bows, but what do we get?" And he's like, "Oh, you get this gun, but there's no ammunition." And he's like, "Well, there is ammunition, but it is hidden in this tree. Oak or whatever the fuck." Anyway, so you must start at this tree. It's called the Tree of Death. And then the game is on. He lets them go. The girls are still in the room. The guys are let go. And they run off and they find this tree of death. And they look inside of it and they're like, that POS. There's one bullet. There's one bullet in this thing. Like, what the fuck do we do? Johnny is like, I'm a good shot. Tony is like, have you ever shot someone before? And Johnny's like, no. Tony's like, well, I have. So I've got my experience over you. And he takes the gun, the bullet. And then he just was like, see ya, suckers! And this girl's like, oh, the guys are like, oh, fuck. The girl's back in the room. They're trying to get out of the bedroom. So they come up with this plan. And they know that there's a guard hanging out here. Like the guard hears this crash. And he goes in and he sees like Veronica down there. And she's like amidst this pile of like what used to be an old vase. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to move it, and if you can just give me some glue, I can glue it back together. And the guy just starts fucking laughing. He just starts laughing and he leaves. But when they had smashed that vase, they also smashed the window. And so they get out. Buddy, he had been like, let's go back to the shore. We can find the boat or whatever and we can leave. And Johnny is just like, no, we gotta go back. And Buddy Holly's like, why? And Johnny's like, the girls. I guess it never occurred to him. Buddy Holly was trying to just fuck off and leave the girls there. The girls somehow, like, you know, shimmied themselves out of that room. So Tony's walking around by himself. He's the one with the gun. He's the one with, you know, the bullet. And he runs into the hunter guy. The hunter guy closes in on him. And Tony tries to shoot him, but nothing happens. And the hunter guy is like, firing pin. He's like, you think I wouldn't remove the firing pin? And the hunter dude shoots Tony. The guys witness this death. And they're like, let's go find the girls. And the girls are like, they go to that room. They go down to that creepy, you know, that dungeon thing. And they're like, maybe we could find a knife in that one room where the guy was stuffing the heads and shit. So they go in there, and of course one of the goons follows them, and he starts having a struggle with them. And of course that's where the judo thing comes into play, and the girl, you know, after she's having a strangling match and shit, and she scratches him or whatever, and he comes at her and she kind of judos him into this big vat of acid. He falls in, his face is like melting, like ah. And meanwhile, their guys are still running away, still looking for the beach. And he hears like this yelling, like this screaming sound. And Buddy Holly steps into this like quicksand, and he starts falling in, and he's like, oh my god, it's the black sand. And Johnny pulls him out, and he's like, oh. Buddy Holly's like, I can't make it any further. And he's got, I was like, why? And they look at his clothes, and he's got all these like leeches and shit all over him. And they take off the leeches. He's fine. And the girls are free, and they're running away, and the hunter dude is hunting them, and he's got one of his goons. One of his goons falls into that same quicksand stuff. And, you know, he starts sinking under, and he's got all those leeches all over him. And the hunter guy is just like, see ya, deuces. And he just fucks off. And the girls are slowly, you know, escaping. And they bump into that, there was like, okay, remember that yelling I was telling you earlier? It turns out it's just like this fucking crazy guy wandering around, screaming at the top of his lungs. Just some random fucking guy that can't talk. He's just like, ah, ah, ah. And then so Johnny just fucking clocks this guy. Like, the guy yelling dude is still alive. The fucking gang is hiding up on this. They get up on this fucking tree or something. And they're hiding from the hunter. So they're back into the house. They're in the house. And they're like, oh my god, there's this gun closet. And they run over to the gun closet and they open it up. They're like, sweet, bunch of guns. Mm-mm-mm. But the only thing, these guns, they have no ammunition. So they're hiding, and the hunter guy comes in, and he like pours himself a strong one. He's about to take a drink. Then he notices his gun cabinet's open, and he's like, oh, guess his hunt isn't done. And then he goes into the cave thingamajigger.
A whale's vagina.
Sitting in his little throne thing in his trophy cabinet. And he's telling them, he knows they're there somewhere. He can't see them yet. But he's telling them, you know what, I can hear, it gets really quiet. I can hear the slightest breath. Buddy Holly fucking coughs. And he shines his light over to him. The hunter guy's like, hey guys. Surprise. They need to die. Because they killed one of his goons.
Nick Brooke.
And they're like, what? We didn't kill anybody. They're like, no, like, we got past one of your guards, but we never killed anybody. One of the goons just fucking saunters into this building. It's the goon that falls into the black sand. He comes in and he's like covered in leeches still, and he's just like going after the hunter guy. So he goes over to the hunter dude, just like grabs him and lifts him up. And the hunter guy is screaming. And he grabs the hunter guy, lifts him up, and just like slams him into these spikes that are like in the wall. So Johnny, Mike Brady, of course he gets the last fucking line in this movie, as Mike Brady always did, right? One of Mike Brady's lessons.
Now that Below's dead, I don't think they'll give us any trouble. I guess Below never thought he'd be the prize exhibit in his own museum.
So that was Bloodlust from 1961. So it was adapted from a book called The Most Dangerous Game. Anyway, that was the movie. What did I think of it? Well, this type of movie where we have a guy who's hunting people. What the fuck was that noise? Anyway, hearing creepy noises now. So I'm from Alaska. We have a serial killer from Alaska. His name is Robert Hansen. And that's what he would do. He would take like prostitutes or like, you know, street women. He would take them and they called him the butcher, the baker. But anyway, the butcher, yeah. So he owned a bakery, but he would take, you know, these prostitutes and these homeless girls, and he'd take them, and he had like planes, like, you know, planes and stuff. He would take them with these planes out into the middle of nowhere. Like, he had a cabin out in the middle of nowhere. He would take these women and let them loose, let them run, and he would hunt them down. He finally got caught when, you know, one of the women was able to fight him off, and she went and told the cops. There's a whole movie about it. And actually, it was so funny. The movie they made about it, the movie The Frozen Ground, was filmed in Alaska, and it had John Cusack playing, which I fucking love John Cusack. I grew up on his movies, but had him playing Robert Hansen, and then Nicolas Cage playing the cop, and then Vanessa Hudgens playing the girl that, like, you know, gets away. It was really funny because my cousin, she worked on the set, and she invited me to their like little Halloween party, and I was dressed up as Lara Croft. She was dressed up as Supergirl, and we went to the party, and like Vanessa Hudgens is, I don't know, she was in a whole nother level. I don't know what her deal was, but she was just like, oh my god, she was dressed up as a fucking polar bear or something. She had like this fuzzy hat and fuzzy little outfit. I love cheese. She was like eating her cheese, and I'm like, John Cusack was at one of the bars that I was at once, that we're all sitting at the same table, and he was really in character. He didn't like engage or look at us. He was just all serious, like brooding. They made that movie in Anchorage, and I just happened to be present during that time. And that, you know, that was a movie about being hunted, and this was a movie about being hunted, and The Running Man was a movie about being hunted. And what do I give this movie? What rating? I actually enjoyed it just because I recognized some of the actors, and it was like, it wasn't boring. It kept its pace pretty well. I think I would give this movie 7.9 out of 10. That was Bloodlust, and I hope you all had a good night, and I will see you all later. Bye.